Minister Rishi Sunak there speaking at a press conference at the G7 summit in Hiroshima in Japan. Elsewhere, northern Italy's Emilia-Romagna region has been at the centre of intense flooding, which has left at least 14 people dead and caused billions of euros of damage, the local government has said. Well, let's speak now to a British tourist caught up in the flood, Sarah Merritt. Sarah, good morning to you. It's good to have you here on Sky News. And you've had some very difficult couple of days, weeks also. Just crucially, tell us, how are you feeling?
Well, today initially my trip with my husband out here was to come to the Formula One. I'm a massive McLaren fan, so coming to Imola to see a race was the aim of our holiday. And yes, we've been caught up in what is just terrible scenes, terrible for the local people here, but was also quite scary and unsettling for us because we didn't understand initially what was happening around us.
And of course, you mentioned the F1. We know that the F1 has been cancelled because they say they don't want to take that pressure away from emergency services. So how long into your trip then did things start to change?
So we flew in on Monday evening and we drove to our accommodation, which was in a village called Tradozio, the other side of Faenza. And overnight the rain started, and it was only when we sort of saw the hillside next to us was starting to slide down that we realised we were probably in an area that wasn't very safe. At this point we had no electricity and no internet, so we got in our hire car and we tried to leave the area, but we found the roads were blocked, we were wheel spinning, we couldn't get out. So we sort of hunkered down for one more night. And then we walked out on foot, and the estate we were staying on had a beautiful villa above us called the Villa La Collina. And when we went up there, we found other tourists, and the Contessa Maria Teresa, who owns the estate, got us all together in her house, and we've all been staying there together up until yesterday, all together as a group, so that we were all safe higher up the mountain.
My goodness, Sarah, that just sounds absolutely terrifying. And you describing that night when your car wheels are spinning, you couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So as you put it, you're having to hunker down. What was going through your mind at that moment? You probably didn't have a wink of sleep.
No, I mean, we packed our cases so that we knew we'd be ready to go in the morning. But you just start to feel quite helpless and feel you want to go home, but you know you can't. Once we saw the news, once we were at the villa and the electricity had been returned, which was on and off, we realised how lucky we were. We realised that, you know, for the people living in this region, this damage is going to cause them, pain and stress forevermore. People have lost their lives. So we just made the best of the situation at the villa we were staying at. There were some German tourists there with us, so we made pizza dough together. We tried to just make the best of it. Then yesterday, the local mayor contacted the house and said we were all being evacuated by helicopter. So we had 5 minutes notice to get our things together, get into the village, and then we waited along with other tourists whilst the supply helicopters were flying into the village. They were being unloaded with supplies and then they were being replaced by tourists so that we could leave. So that was kind of what happened last night. With 5 minutes notice, we were evacuated out. So I can't say too much, how the mayor, the Contessa Maria Teresa, the local people made great efforts to look after us, to tell us that things would be okay. I think really they just need so much help in that region now, because that village is totally cut off by roads. No one can get to it. There's only helicopters able to reach there now.
My goodness, Sarah, and as the local government's saying, there is going to cost in a region of billions of euros. Just very quickly, when are you looking and expecting to come back home?
Well, ironically, we had some flights booked for last night that we were trying to get to, which we didn't make at the airport. Our friends, the low-cost airlines, have been as helpful as ever by telling me that they cannot assist and that we need to rebook and pay again. So our actual flights to go home from our scheduled holiday are Wednesday. So at the moment, it looks like we're going to stay in Bologna until Wednesday and then fly home on the same flights that we would have done anyway.
Oh, brilliant, Sarah. And I do hope that, of course, your airline is sympathetic there. Sarah, it's been great speaking to you. It's good to see you smiling in good spirits there. What you've been through is absolutely horrific. And as you say there, so many people, there are about 14 people we know have died, and the village is cut off, billions of euros worth of damage as well. And I'm grateful to you taking that time out to speak to us. Enjoy the rest of your day, if I may say so, if you can. And come back home safely, yeah?
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Sarah. Sarah A. Merritt there. Now, Martin Amis